in a way, maybe it's cathartic for us to see the more extreme version of this story. Because we can look at it and go, oh my gosh, well, this is ridiculous. I would never do that, or this would never happen. But I'm sure that for all of us, there are parts of Hannah that we relate to, for any of us who have struggled with self-image, eating disorders, for any of us who have made choices and continuously made that choice, even though it's harming ourselves and those around us, right?
Con Gaby Cam y Javier Ibarreche.
Congrats on Saccharine. It's such a powerful, raw, and necessary film. And, well, your performance as Hannah is painfully brilliant. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
And talking about that striking performance, I was wondering, when you first read the script and realized that you'd have to dive into those vulnerable, uncomfortable parts of the struggle with self-image, that's something that is so relatable for all of us. What was your very first reaction?
I read this script and, you can imagine, I mean, you've seen it. It's very confronting and, you sort of know what you're getting yourself into, right? For me, I just opened my email and someone's like, oh, this director is interested. You want to read the script? And it was just like a normal day. And I was like, what is this? This is the wildest concept I've ever heard in my life. And this is so disturbing. But I was really hooked. It was a page turner. I didn't have to get up and sit back down and refocus. I really was hooked with Hannah's journey until the very end. And then that ending, I was like, oh no, why does she have to do this? Why does it have to end like this? So yeah, and then of course, so I first just read it as an audience member and then I read it as an actor. And I thought, oh my gosh, this role would be so challenging and so interesting. If they offer it to me, I have to say yes.
And you nailed it, definitely. And, horror is such a great vehicle to externalize the struggles that we all carry inside. And we have been seeing that in the recent films. For Hannah, the physical horror obviously reflects what is going in her inner turmoil. Do you think we need to see these extreme physical monsters to finally connect and confront the ones we maybe have been creating in our own heads?
Well, the beautiful thing about movies is we can watch people go through things that we don't have to go through and maybe still learn from them. So I hope that nobody has to go on the journey that Hannah went on. So in a way, maybe it's cathartic for us to see the more extreme version of this story. Because we can look at it and go, oh my gosh, well, this is ridiculous. I would never do that, or this would never happen. But I'm sure that for all of us, there are parts of Hannah that we relate to, for any of us who have struggled with self-image, eating disorders, for any of us who have made choices and continuously made that choice, even though it's harming ourselves and those around us, right? We can watch this movie and we can learn, we can judge, we can be disgusted, we can be excited, we can be scared, and then we can put it down knowing that it wasn't really us. So I think in a way, that's what films and stories provide us with. We can learn from other people.
Absolutely. And I love that. And, talking about things that really stood with us in the film, something that really marked me watching the film were the binge eating scenes. They are so raw, even painful to watch, eating from that place of primal hunger and coping with the guilt afterwards. It's incredibly intimate. It's a very intimate aspect of a one person's life. How did you protect yourself emotionally while exposing such a vulnerable struggle on camera?
Totally. Especially with the binge eating scenes, obviously this is an act that is private and we don't want anybody to see. So when you have the opportunity or the challenge to film that, what you're really looking for is how do you make this as authentic as possible as if no one's watching? But then I think what for audience members has been so uncomfortable about it is we're seeing somebody do something that we shouldn't be looking at. And how did I protect myself? I mean, we had a limit to how many times we would do certain scenes, and me and Nat had an open dialogue about that. So we'd be like, all right, if we're going to do one full out eating take, then let's make sure that it's on this shot and everybody's ready so we don't waste the take, that type of thing. So just communicating my own boundaries as we went along and having support. I mean, it was an incredible crew, the most hardworking crew I've ever worked with, and it was in Australia shooting this movie, and everybody just had each other's backs. Everybody was working so hard, racing the clock. I had grips helping me up when I was tired. You know, I had cameramen squeezing my hands. Like it was a beautiful team effort.
That sounds amazing, and that can translate in the screen. It's a film that you see and see the devotion that's behind it. So congratulations on that. And to portray someone as broken as Hannah is, you need absolute trust. What were those conversations actually with Natalie like to map out that emotional void she has, and how did you both work together to capture that terrifying hunger that can never be satisfied?
Yeah, Nat made this incredible director's pitch. So it was like a 10-page, 12-page PowerPoint document. And she explained the concept of hungry ghosts. And then I started doing some research on them. And that was really a big catalyst for me for the film of this idea of this insatiable monster inside of us that just lacks and lacks and lacks. And nothing you give it will ever sate it. So that was a big part of it. And then we had a lot of Zooms together leading up to me coming over there, where we talked about Hannah and who she is and what's her relationship like with her parents. Why is she the way she is? And then I personally I do this for every major role, but I made out my little map of like stage 1 Hannah, stage 7 Hannah. She's at this weight. She feels this way. She's repressing these things. Okay. She's at this weight. Now she's feeling these things. She's becoming more violent, like just mapping it out so that because we shot out of order, I could like look at my book and go, oh, we're here. Yeah.
Con Gaby Cam y Javier Ibarreche.